The video is showing, just so you know, so we don't know when it's going to go live.
Sorry, LinkedIn is sucking again.
I'm going to see more gobos.
What's that?
Yeah, no worries.
I'm going to see more gobos. I'm going to see one over there.
Yeah. It's not LDI. Where it's like that's what they do with the spotlights and the movers. I blame Celex. They have the opportunity to put some gobos on. They should have.
Now I'm surprised to see Chauvet here.
Yeah.
It's good that they're here, though.
I think I've been telling them of just like, look, man, between schools and other things, like you guys are doing outdoor rated stuff.
Yep.
Nobody really knows you're doing outdoor rated projectors and things like that. Like,
yeah,
somebody else is going to specify something else. So
right, totally.
Well, I just learned that the IP65 in the theatrical world is not actually IP65 in the architectural world. I didn't realize it was a long-term install type of product. You can't put that out there.
It's the EP.
You're live.
Okay, well, welcome back to the live stream here on the Lighting Controls podcast here at Boston Lights by the DLFNE. Here we have Brian and Dan. Brian, just before we get into the other conversation, this is exciting. I mean, the DLF is putting on a really good show here. What are the thoughts so far?
Yeah, so for those that don't know, I'm Brian Lucier. I am the president of the DLF New England chapter. The show, we've received great remarks on how easy it was for everything to be just loaded in from the manufacturer side. Special thanks to Freeman for making that process and those logistics work out very easily. People are coming in and fighting the Boston traffic and what it is. But from what I hear, people are very impressed with how the floor is and that there's good activity right now. And the presenters, the first session that we had, second session is running now, but first session was very, very good and positive.
Awesome.
So I've just been hearing great things about the overall experience, which is something that we really wanted to focus on this year.
No, totally. That's great to hear because, I mean, I would agree. I think, the way that it's laid out here, the location, everything is really well done. So kudos to you.
Thank you.
Lots of really well done social media. In general, just to make people aware of the show. But then even the walkthrough video of physically how to walk into the hotel and get to the second floor and get into the show. Like, I sent that to everyone that is here with me from Port so that they all knew exactly where to be. Fantastic. And I was like, it's such a little thing that you're like, that makes it so easy when you have people who are unfamiliar with the area, the hotel, of exactly how to get in and where to go.
This is a nice thing about having a president who is on the control side and on the operation side, because I've been focusing on what's the experience about, like somebody comes in up the escalator, what happens and what do they see? And so I'm glad you got to see that video. There's definitely people who have not seen that video. For those that are live and are coming to the show later on today, go up the escalator, go to the left. That's the registration booth. And have a great time.
But I mean, so you being a controls person is a good segue into the other part of the conversation, which is that your other hat you wear is with Apex.
Yep.
Do you mind just telling us a little bit about Apex?
Sure. So I'm the lead control specialist for Apex. Apex is a lighting representative here in the Boston area. Well, I should say the New England area. I mostly focus on the Boston and Rhode Island markets. That keeps me plenty busy. But we have about 31 booths here represented in the lines, and ranging from color changing fixtures to architectural to landscape, and all the things in between. Some even decorative tile that turns and changes colors and lights up.
Whole video screen system.
Whole video screen system over there. Yeah. So
well, and also Dan, you're part of Apex as well.
I am. I'm a spec sales. Work on calling on lighting designers and engineers on the same side doing the controls. So trying to offer as much service and support as possible to that community. We do have, in addition to the lighting manufacturers, probably 4 or 5 controls vendors strewn about, right? Whether it's Crestron, JDRF is kind of hidden over there in the Alpha Light booth. We've got SensorWorks for standalone and some new network solutions that they're working on. So there's definitely a good smattering within. You can only have so many controls brands.
Yeah.
Well, no, but I think what's unique about Apex is how many controls lines you do have.
Yeah.
14.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's a
14.
Wow.
Yep. Some are standalone. Some are more network based. But yeah, 14, and then JDRF is completely autonomous lighting control system.
Mhm. Yeah, and we'll have more about them later on today.
Yep.
But just out of curiosity, this is something that I always stand on as a soapbox. But like, why so many brands? Like, isn't one lighting controls line enough?
No. Different companies have different solutions. Partitions, for example.
Right.
Some companies haven't focused on those solutions. Others have. Multi-purpose rooms are multi-purpose, and they can have a wide range of: do you need a touchscreen? Do you not need a touchscreen? Does this room need to be networked? Does this room need a time clock? And it's scalable at that point as well. So, does a client want to run everything off their app? And so, or is a web portal fine too? So there's scaling elements of that, of like, how much data do they want and integration do they want? And so from there, there's it's not a cookie cutter solution. It is we have multiple lines to find the solution that's really customer forward.
No, that's great. And so from spec sales, like, what are you seeing? What is a common request of lighting controls?
Honestly, recently it's been a lot of the user interface, the end user interface, the ease of use, the aesthetic of that, and whether it's just a white keypad with some engraved buttons, all the way up to a configurable touchscreen or something in between. People are looking for the higher level, higher finishes, and trying to make their projects unique, to make them stand out, and to make them easy to use. Because most of the time, we find that you get into a space and the buttons aren't engraved, or they are waiting for engravings and you don't really know how to use them. So having them be easy to use is certainly one of the things we get asked for a lot.
So having a controls team in-house, how does that work for you with spec sales when requests like that specifically come up? I'm looking for a very specific keypad. How does that work between the integration between the two of you, as far as how that allows you to aid and assist your clients?
I think for me particularly, having a pretty good understanding of all the products and what they look like, allows me to then cater that part of it to the request, but then coming to Brian and asking him, like, how do we actually get this to work? Like, do you want it to look like this? Can these buttons be programmed to do what they're asking for, kind of thing?
Yeah, and part of it is knowing what that keypad is capable of doing, right? So there are times in my past where I've worked with like Art Deco style keypads that are really so old, but they have a degree of contact, right? And so it's like, great, I can use. It may cost more to do a dry contact for this like beautiful Art Deco solution, but I can make it work and I can make it fly as long as I know what wires need to go where. I can make this dishwasher fly. But with the solutions that we have, sometimes it is about the keypad, and you get the request of, well, I want this as inexpensive as possible, but I also want this really attractive keypad. And it's like, well, okay, we can make it work.
We have an option.
We have an option.
What would you say, 17 lines?
Yeah, 14.
14
lines. Yeah.
14 lines.
That's crazy. But also, I mean, so what is something that you would like to see more of in the lighting controls world? Whether it's technology that doesn't exist yet or something that you're seeing starting to enter the marketplace.
Sure. Do you have some?
I do.
Okay, go.
I do. I ask for it on a fairly regular basis, but there's a device that we look for in manufacturers that we haven't found yet, but we'll just call it a wall box controller standalone that has HVAC contact in it. It's also dimmable. Doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Nobody can figure out how to make that yet.
Right. No, and I think that is really sort of the next step, because we are seeing HVAC integration coming through the pipeline.
Yep.
And so having a standalone capability.
Yep.
Because okay, you can tap into BACnet, but that's such a hassle.
Yes.
It uses a lot of resources to do that. So is there a simpler solution to achieve that?
Having that one fit-all solution, it may take more than a single gang box to fit all that stuff into.
For
but
sure.
Sell it as a solution.
Yeah, no, totally.
That's it. Yeah. For me, probably just everything is so proprietary.
Yep.
And it's for me, BACnet's fine. RS-232 is fine. But I would really like to see companies open up API and have modules to just be like, look, I just really want to be an extension of this system. I want to still be in my own environment, but I want you to be able to see the devices that you need to see.
Right.
I'd rather give you all the information, and then we just tap into the information that we absolutely need, and not have this, well, my system doesn't really talk to your system, and this system is 10 years older than this system, and like, how do we really make all these things work with bridges and gateways and things and stuff? And it's like, because we can do it, it's just also a matter of like, well, here's $1,000 module, here's another $1,000 module, and it's like, and then why is my control system so expensive? And it's like, oh, because the thing we have does this really well, but then in order to get to that next level, things aren't open up in a way that actually makes the full integration work.
Yeah. Well, so and sort of tying into the idea of having things that are less proprietary in the future, are you starting to see more Dolly in the Boston market?
I see like 3, maybe a quarter. And part of it is just like the zones and the devices and the device needs. We're seeing it more in schools. I see it more in schools because you have, you still want everything off of a singular keypad, but you want to be able to have these different scenes and presets. And that's a good example of where you have a nice isolated room, also needs daylight harvesting, also needs a presentation space and a room, a test sort of scene and just a general like lecture scene. And so you have these different like needs within the room in order to make things comfortable. But then you also have these other devices that need to do their thing too. And so, Dolly loops are a good application for that. And we're seeing more of that. But Boston market being what it is, the Rhode Island market being what it is, I mean, still heavily predominant in the 0 to 10 realm, because you can just fixture goes bad, replace the fixture, put the wires back in. You don't need to send somebody out for
to
digital
reprogram
digital address. Yeah,
for sure.
Yep.
Yeah. Are you seeing the same thing?
I think it's from a fixture side. I think you need a little more buy-in from the manufacturers. And not so much buy-in, but education from the manufacturers, because there are variations of Dolly, and not everybody really truly understands how to apply them, where you need one versus the other, or interoperability. So I think having the factories start not just offering it, but being able to talk to us on a fixture level would be great. Yeah,
totally. And I mean, I think that is kind of in agreement with what was being discussed at the Dolly Summit this year, because of the fact that it's like, it would be great, but so many people need to still be educated on how it works, how it can be applied. And the what you were describing, I imagine, is a proprietary front end with Dolly interfacing to the fixtures. So, which is a totally viable option that I don't think people fully realize.
Yeah, I think of things along the lines of like how RDM has really changed the world. ArtNet 3.4 has really changed to be like, oh, now I have RDM options in ArtNet. Now I don't need to actually be in the DMX realm. I can run everything Ethernet-wise. And what I would really love to see is Dolly have those sorts of options, especially on the post-sale side of, oh, this fixture no longer exists. It's been replaced by this. Oh, I know that there's now a gap in that whole element and sequence. I should fill that gap in with my address and be able to be controlled.
Right.
Maybe I just lost a patent. Maybe that's somebody for somebody to figure out. But
that was the whole pitch.
There was a whole pitch of just like, how do we make the end user experience on the Dolly side actually, work, right? Self-healing network.
Well, gentlemen, really appreciate you coming on, and thank you all for tuning in to our live stream. I think it's a great show. Thank you so much for coming on.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, guys.